Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first day of school. Again, I'm Mr. Pippage. If you haven't already, please make sure you watch the welcome video that is posted in the stream for Google Classroom. But it's very nice to meet you virtually or in person. And for some of you guys that come in tomorrow, I look forward to meeting you tomorrow as well. But again, it's a pleasure to meet you. So please watch the welcome video if you didn't already. But if you did watch that video, I want to go through the course syllabus. So that's what we always do the first day of school because it outlines the rules and expectations of the course, which is very, very important. Okay. So um, this class is going to be conducted virtually. Okay. So because we have virtual students, we have hybrid students. So in the hybrid days, that some students are in school and some students are at home. So the class is conducted virtually. With that being said, there are certain things where if you are in person that day, you can complete it in person if you'd like. But if you're not in person that day, you need to complete it in an online format. And we'll explain how to do that throughout this. Okay. So um, to make your lives easier, nearly all students I know have cell phones, their own cell phones, their own smartphone. So what you want to do is you want to download the Google Classroom app on your device. Because what that allow you to do is for homework assignments, because it's mathematics, it's so important that I see your work. I don't want to just see answers in most situations. So it's very, very important that I see your work. So what I'll ask you to do is take a picture of your homework. So you want to make sure you get all four corners of your homework assignment and your work. You want to make sure the picture is clear. And if you download the Google Classroom app, you can literally just take the picture and then add it to the assignment right away. If you don't download the Google Classroom app, it's still feasible to do this, but what you're going to have to do is take the pictures of the assignment and then email them to yourself and then attach it that way. So it's a lot easier if you download the Google Classroom app. So I highly encourage you to do that. Okay. So first rule is make sure you're respectful at all times. So if you're in school, make sure you're respectful to myself and the other classmates. But in your online formats, if I ask you to respond, or if we're doing a session where it's a synchronous session, that means that all students are present at the same time. Make sure you handle yourself appropriately. Okay? So proper language, respect all opinions. When one person is talking, you shouldn't be. Okay? For students who are in person that day, no food or drink in class. Okay, that's for the lunchroom, unless there's a medical exception to that. But you are allowed to have a clear water bottle and drink water. All right. Now, due to I do state in here that you need a 3-ring binder, and you certainly do. You definitely do. And I also state that there's notebook checks. The notebook checks might not occur as rigorously this year due to the virtual environment, but because it's mathematics and it's so tactile, we do want to make sure you keep a notebook. So make sure you get yourself a 3-ring binder. Okay, that way you can hole punch your papers and keep them in the binder in a nice, neat, orderly fashion to make them easier to find. Make sure for your work you're using pencil. Okay, there's no pen allowed because I don't want to see you guys scribbling on your paper when you make a mistake. And also, if you make a mistake, you just have to fix that spot where you made a mistake. That way, you're not crossing off the entire problem. So please use pencil when you're doing your math problems. I do actually recommend that you get your own calculator, the TI-30 X2S, and I'll just show you right now. If I copy this and paste that in the browser, this calculator is available everywhere. It's available from Walmart, Target, Amazon. You can see all the links here. Here's the Amazon link. I'm just showing you different ways you could purchase this calculator. Now, this one here, actually right now on Amazon, it's a little bit expensive. So right now it's $15.99 available from other sellers. If we go to Target, let's say, it looks like it's $10.99 right now according to the website. At least that ad. Let's see what it comes up as. Give it a second to load here. All right, it's moving a little slow. Yeah, $10.99. All right, so Target appears to be the best price right now. But I highly recommend you get this calculator because you don't want to just be using your cell phone. Your cell phone can be very distracting, and when you take the Keystone exams in person, you're not allowed to use your cellular device. So I do highly recommend you get that calculator, and it's actually good for 4 years of mathematics. For the hybrid students, make sure you get a pair of earbuds. That's very, very important. That way you are able to watch the video lessons at your own pace and without distracting others. Okay. And just make sure you have a positive attitude every day. That's very important for mathematics. Okay. So for your notebook, you could have sections to your notebook. So you can you could have a section for your homework. You could have a section for any physical assessments that I would give you, meaning on paper, for the hybrid students. So you could have a section for your notes. Or probably the most effective way or easiest way for most of you to organize your notebook would be chronological order, meaning that as soon as you get a material or you print out a material, you put that on top of your notebook. And that way your most recent items or your more recent items are on top and your older items are underneath it. Okay? So again, I highly recommend using a notebook or highly recommend you keep an organized notebook. Okay? Very, very important. That way you're also studying for tests and quizzes effectively. So the textbook we're going to be using is McGraw-Hill. And the way you get to that is through Clever. So all of you guys should have a link at the top here. And I don't know if I don't have it on mine. I think I do. I'm just having trouble seeing it. But you guys should have a link to Clever up here. I could just type in Clever Pen Art just to show you how to get there. You could always do this as well if you're ever having trouble. That's the quickest way I get there. As long as you're logged in through your school Gmail account or Google account. So this is how you get to the online textbook, and we'll use it periodically throughout the year. So if you look at our School Clever account, yours might look slightly different than mine. There it is right there, McGraw-Hill. Okay? So I'll have a separate demonstration on just the features of the textbook, but I wanted to show you how to get there first. And again, this was in the intro video, but here's some other resources we'll use: Edmentum, Study Island, and we'll also use Khan Academy. Then I have my Symbalu page. So a lot of different resources we will use. Here's my YouTube channel. But a lot of different resources we'll use, and the way you get through those is through Clever. Okay? So that's our online textbook. Make sure you do your own work. So cheating, copying, or plagiarism will not be tolerated. For the hybrid students, that includes like in-person traditional methods of cheating, but more for the online format. If you're caught like sharing answers or anything of that nature, that will be an instant zero. And then the second time it happens, that will be disciplined action. And what happens, guys, just so you're aware, anytime you log into the school account, we could always track your movements online. And we don't do that unless we suspect something like that. But you know, your history can always be tracked. So make sure you do your own work, because if you're caught cheating, that's going to be a zero for you, for the other person involved, no questions asked. And then the second time it occurs, it's going to be a zero on disciplinary referral. So always do your own work. Okay. So we'll use a variety of materials for our instruction. If for the hybrid students, when you're in person, make sure when the bell rings, you have your materials out and you're ready to go by the bell. Okay, so make sure you have your pencil sharpened, your calculator out, your notebook, any homework. So make sure you have that stuff ready. If you need to use the restroom, we ask that you try to limit it to the first 10 minutes or the last 10 minutes of class. Please use this hall pass. That's also available on the high school website. Okay. Participation, you're always encouraged, or you need to make sure you're participating every day, because not only is that going to help you get the best grade possible, but it's part of the experience to make sure you get the best grade possible. So do your best to participate as much as you can, meaning that if we're having a discussion in the virtual format and I'm asking you to leave a response, make sure you leave a thoughtful response. The more you put into this class, the more you're going to get out, and it's going to have huge benefits for you in your future mathematics courses. Okay? So make sure for the in-person students, there's no cell phone or smart watches permitted in class, unless I would instruct otherwise. And then your Chromebook is to be used for educational purposes only. I don't mind if you're listening to music when you're doing your work. You should not be listening to music. Let me rephrase that. You will not be listening to music when you're watching online lessons, okay? But if you're doing your work or your assignment, I do not mind if you're listening to music if that helps you learn more effectively or do your work more effectively. Just make sure it's appropriate, school appropriate, okay? So we'll use many types of formats for our online work. I have Google Forms, Quiz Egg, Study Island, Kahoot, Socrative, Khan Academy. and I list some other programs there. Okay, almost done, guys. So homework. Homework is such a vital component of this class. You'll have homework just about every day. Okay, your homework counts for 15% of your final grade. All right, of your marking period average. So that might seem like a small percentage, but let's say you don't do your homework for a marking period, which obviously would not be wise because you're not only missing that grade, but then missing the practice to help you for your assessments. Then you're automatically down to an 85, and you need a 70 to pass. So, your homework is very important. Not so much for the grade. I think it's more important that you familiarize yourself and get practice with the topics we're learning in class. Okay, and due to the nature of the hybrid and virtual environment, assignments are due by 11:59 p.m. on the day that they are due. Okay, now I don't advise to wait till 12 o'clock midnight to get your work done. I advise no later than 10 p.m. and I'd probably even say earlier than that. But we as that's our school policy, we allow for that just in case there's any types of online learners that need that flexibility. Okay. Um, if you're absent from school, you are not absent from the work that you missed. So make sure you check online or Google Classroom to find out the work that you missed. If there's a valid excuse or reason why you could not complete your work virtually that day, please make sure you reach out to me and reach out to the guidance counselor or the school appropriately with a excuse when you return from your parent. But you're not excused from the work that you missed that day. So you have the amount of days you were out or that you missed virtually to make up your work. So, for example, if you missed one day virtually, you have a valid excuse, I should say, because if you don't have a valid excuse, that would be a zero. But you'd have one day upon your return to make up that work. So let's say that you're unable to do your work on Tuesday. Okay. Well, on Wednesday, you have your work that we have on Wednesday, as well as the work from Tuesday. And all that work is due on Thursday. Or let's say you're out Monday and Tuesday. Well, if you're out Monday and Tuesday and you're unable to do your work those days because you have a valid excuse, then you have Wednesday and Thursday to complete your work from those 2 days, and it'll be due on Friday. So you have the amount of days you were out or that you missed virtually for a valid excuse to make up your work. Okay. If it's not made up in that time period, it goes in as a zero. So make sure you stay on top of that. Okay. Here's my grading policy. So we have homework is anywhere from 3 to 10 points. Usually each assignment is 3 points, but there are some exceptions for larger assignments. Classwork is anywhere from 3 to 10 points. So that might not be homework is something that is just simply maybe, in the virtual environment, homework and classwork kind of go together. But those could be anywhere from 3 to 10 points. And then quizzes. Typically quizzes are smaller in point value, anywhere from 30 to 60 points. And your tests are 70 to 120 points. Okay? And you can see that assessments count for 70% of your grade. Classwork counts for 15%. Usually I count Khan Academies as classwork, but I will explain all that stuff throughout the year. Okay? You could read over those details. If I do give extra credit, I do not give per student extra credit. In the rare times extra credit is given, that's given to the entire class. Okay? So in the rare times where I do allow for extra credit, make sure you take advantage of that. Do not come to me at the end of the year or the end of the semester, I should say, or the end of the marking period, and ask me if there's an extra credit assignment you can do to raise your grade because maybe for some reason you chose not to stay on top of your work during the marking period. I do not allow that. Okay, this is high school. I want you guys to be responsible, intrinsically motivated learners. So there is no on-the-spot extra credit, but I do have some rare instances where I give extra credit throughout the year. So make sure you take advantage of that. Okay, and extra help. I'm here to help you guys, but you gotta seek that help out, and take advantage of it. So at times, probably I like to have at least once a week, maybe more, but definitely at least once a week. There will be a synchronous, meaning live, support session. If you need extra help with anything, make sure you join that session. That'll probably be through a Google Meet. Okay, and the link will be provided in Google Classroom. All right. Now, guys, please keep in mind that after 3 p.m. Because of this virtual environment, there are many demands on my time. I might not be available. So please understand, if you try to contact me after 3 p.m., there's a very good chance I won't be able to respond to you to the next day. All right. So those synchronous help sessions will usually be in that 1:45 to 2:30 range. So make sure you take advantage of those if you need to. And then if we need additional support besides that, we could always make those. I'm always willing to work with you guys where I can. So if you need extra help, please let me know. Send me an email or let me know in class if you're a hybrid student, and I'll be glad to help you. Okay? And then your homework tonight, one of your homework assignments tonight, if you are a hybrid student, I will give this to you on Monday or Tuesday. Okay? If you are a virtual student, I'm going to ask that you print this out. Now, you don't have to print this whole course syllabus out because in Google Classroom, I posted just this signature page. Okay? So what you need to do is either print this signature page or take this signature page that I give you in class if you're a hybrid student, and then you have to sign it. You have to fill this part out, so you have to sign it right there. Have your parent or guardian sign it after they go over this course syllabus with you and you go over it with them. So have them sign it and then print their name. And if they print their name, and if they want to, they can leave additional contact information. All right. So that's basically one of your homework assignments for the first day of school is submit this, and you're going to submit this through Google Classroom as an attachment. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your attention. So there will be a short assignment where I'm going to ask you questions about this course syllabus. So, this is also part of your homework for the first day. So you are allowed to use your course syllabus in completing this. All right. So thank you very much for your attention and have a fantastic day. It's a pleasure meeting you, and I look forward to working with you this school year. Thank you.